Hi, this is Lou Adler. I train recruiters around the world, corporate recruiters, third-party recruiters, retained recruiters, contingency recruiters, and it's important for a job seeker to understand what a recruiter does. So I decided to put this video together to give you an idea of the day in the life of a recruiter. If you know what really goes on inside the daily activities, it will help you find the right recruiter, get assessed properly, and get the job you deserve. Let me kind of give you a sense, though, of what recruiting is really like. And I think this is a real critical point that most candidates and job seekers don't understand. Recruiters find people for jobs. We're given a rec and we go out and look for people. They don't find jobs for people. Getting a bunch of resumes sent to me or any recruiter is wasted time on person sending the resume, thinking something's happening. It's a waste of time. You'll just be put in a database. So I've got to urge you very strongly, recognize that recruiters find people for jobs, not jobs for people. Here's what they do. They're working on anywhere from 6 to 20 assignments at any one time, and they put them all in priority order. Sometimes they get new assignments, and how they take the assignment is a function of how well they know the job, the relationship with the hiring manager, and the capacity for them to do the work given all the other rec loads. What I've seen is there's two types of recruiters. Some that just use the traditional job description, using the traditional job description listing skills, duties, and responsibilities. Others really go out of their way to seek and understand the real job requirements, the performance expectations. You as a job seeker should know the difference. If you're and most recruiters who are very comfortable and know the job, you just, hey, tell me a little about the job, they'll tell you. It won't just be box checking skills, or it won't be evasive. You want someone who really understands the job and will do a better job for you, do a better job for assessing that for your skills, and hopefully you use that person for advice and counsel as you move forward in the process. Once recruiters understand the job, either via this traditional job description or the performance-based job description, they put an ad together. Most recruiters aren't very creative. They just put a bunch of skills out there and hopefully you find it. Some of them are a little bit more clever. They'll look through a resume database using some skill-based terms and look for resumes that come to the top. Others will be even more clever. They'll go into Google or resume database and find candidates that look real strong, meeting their criteria, and they'll either email that person or make a phone call. The best recruiters will actually start trying to get referrals from people they know. So and you as a job seeker getting referred by that way will put you at the top of the list. That's why I really suggest to job seekers is don't just apply. Unless you're a perfect candidate, just applying will get you screened out. So it's important to recognize that. And in the screening process, here's the way most recruiters do it. I call it there's the right way and the wrong way. When you think about the decisions that are made throughout the hiring process, they fall into 4 buckets. Having of skills, which is listed on most resumes and listed on most job descriptions. A lot of screening goes on, takes at that place. If you pass that screen, a recruiter calls you up and tells you a little about the job, and you say, what do I get? What's a job? What's a title? Too much focus on day one, which is what you get. You get a job, you get a title, you get a location, you get a company. To me, it's what you're going to do and become that's really important. Doing is the work itself. So as recruiters, tell me about the work. And then if you get involved in the second round of interviews or the first round, the second round, you can start saying, hey, as a result of being successful doing that, what will I become? What I find is too many recruiters filter candidates out on having, too many candidates filter themselves out on what they get, when the real decision is about what you're going to do and become. So if I can give any advice for recruiters is to emphasize the doing and becoming, and don't get so hung up on what you get. If you get a great job with a great career opportunity and you're going to get promoted, taking a little less in compensation or a little inconvenient drive, it's unimportant. Look at the long term. Focus on the career opportunity, not just another job. Of course, now you got to think about how recruiters do this. What they do is they take a bunch of candidates that have been screened out on skills, qualified on what they get, present them generally to the hiring manager. Good recruiters who really know the job really focus on your performance, the candidate's performance, and will actually be able to move around. They'll have a little flexibility within the job description. So they do a much better job. That's why dealing with a recruiter who's not just box checking is a much stronger position to be in as a candidate. Otherwise, you're just fighting bureaucracy, basically. So I really And most recruiters who just box check skills aren't trusted that much with hiring managers, so they're even forced to do more box checking. Then you're interviewed. And recruiters sometimes are heavily involved in the interview, sometimes they're not. But a day in the life, some recruiters just send candidates in and they're done. I've been involved from end to end in every single stage hundreds of times. Unfortunately, the debriefing session is usually a beauty contest, a lot of yes-no votes. The strong-willed people have more authority, the higher-ranking people have more authority, and the no vote has more authority because it's the safer decision. So if you don't do an ace the job interviewing, pretty tough to get through it. So I tell candidates, hey, don't feel so badly if you didn't get the job. Meaning it wasn't really a scientific process whether you got it or not. You take all these tests, they're not all that predictable, but that's the reality of what really goes on. Then you got to close the deal. And if you think, most recruiters don't have a lot of flexibility with the compensation. Hiring manager has more. And obviously, if you're in a position as a job seeker where you have multiple offers and you have all the skills, obviously you have more negotiating power. But I would still say for candidates is focus more on what you're going to do and become. Be a little bit less tenacious with respect to the money you get. If you're really good, you'll get a bigger reward later on. So when you really think about the whole hiring process with the day in the life of a recruiter, recognize they got a lot of stuff going on. They're looking for people to fill jobs. They're not trying to help people find jobs who aren't related. But when you really think about all the activity that a recruiter has to do, the best thing a candidate can do, given that, is ask the recruiter up front, what does the person need to do to be successful? Be prepared, have stories to tell about accomplishments that you've done, and focus on what you're going to do and become. You do those kinds of things, you're going to improve your likelihood of getting the job you deserve. Thank you. I hope this was helpful. But recognize recruiters are the gatekeepers in some way. Some of them are real career advisors. If you can find those are the ones you want to connect with. Thanks.